Good evening, brothers and sisters. Happy Easter. Alam niyo po, the Apostle Paul tells us, if Christ has not been raised from the dead, our faith would not have been, or our faith would have been useless. So, Jesus Christ has risen. Pakiulit nga po, Jesus Christ has risen. And as believers, we too are invited to rise with Jesus. But first, we have to die to our old self. Only then shall we rise again, full of hope and happiness. Kung walang nagbago sa atin, ano pa ang halaga ng pagpapakasakit at muling pagkabuhay ni Kristo? So pwede niyo po bang tanungin na inyong katabi, so ano na? Ano po yung sagot niya? Wala lang. So what now? I'm not sure where you are in your life, in your faith right now. Maybe you lost something, maybe you lost someone, and you are in a hopeless situation perhaps. So whatever your situation is, or whatever you may be going through, let me just say, unless there is a Good Friday in your life, there won't be an Easter Sunday. I had my own share of Good Friday. I lost my job. Noong November, pinaalis ako sa aking posisyon, sa aking pwesto sa kumpanya, sa hindi inaasahang pagkakataon at hindi ipinaliwanag na kadahilanan. 6 sa 9 na matataas na executives ng aming kumpanya ay agarang pinag-resign o pinag-retire. Isa po ako sa nasabing 6. So ang sabi ko lang sa aking sarili, perhaps it is time for me to slow down because I have been continuously working for 30 years in that said company. At natatandaan ko pa po noong February 1995, kailan na lang yon, nang ako ay unang ma-employ upang magplano, magdisenyo, at ipatayo ang kauna-unahang modernong expressway sa ating bansa sa ilalim ng konsepto ng PPP, no? Public-Private Partnership. Pero bago dyan, nanggaling po ako sa isang construction company na ang trabaho ko ay mag-supervise ng malalaking construction projects sa Metro Manila at sa probinsya. Toong 1990s, panahon ng Asian financial crisis, part of my job was to make sure that we are able to collect, no, from our ongoing projects. Economic crisis nga noon, so mahirap makakolekta. Translation, pinapahirap ng mga pumipirma ang proseso. So para makakolekta yung presidente ng aming kumpanya, napilitang makibagay. Ang ibig sabihin, maglalagay. Ang uutusan si Luigi, no? Nung panahon po na yon ay utu-utu pa ako. So sunod naman ako. Nung panahon na yon, yun ang context ng obedience para sa akin. Pero noong pumasok po ako sa Catholic Renewal, in 1993, na-guilty po ako. My conscience bothered me so much that I had decided to retire or resign. Yung ginagawa ko kasi was not consistent with the teachings we were receiving in our community. And so I did. Ang problema po, kapapanganak lang ni Mrs. ng aming miracle child in June 1994. So there were times na wala kaming pambili ng gatas. Akala ko magkakatrabaho ako kaagad, 1 buwan, 2 buwan. Umabot ng 1 taon, wala po akong trabaho. So sabi ko, ano na kaya? But you know, brothers and sisters, because I obeyed God, I was blessed with a new job. So yun na nga yung trabaho ko for 30 years. I was part of the company that developed, that designed, and built huge infrastructure projects for the company or for the country from 1995 until the latter part of 2024. And yung mga projects na ito have become catalysts for progress and growth because they provide ease of mobility and freedom of journey for our countrymen. So almost 30 years, many years of fulfillment in my professional career as well as financial blessings that went with it. So ganyan po ang Panginoon. In fact, He was an extravagant God because the blessings were lavish, the blessings were excessive, more than I could hope for. Subalit, noong November, sabi ko nga, na-separate ako sa trabahong pinaghirapan at minahal ko. Nawalan ako. Pinaalis ako sa aking posisyon, sa aking pwesto, sa hindi inaasahang pagkakataon at sa hindi naipaliwanag na kadahilanan. Ako ay agarang pinag-resign o pinag-retire. There was no transition process. I had only 2 days to pack my things and leave. And this was not how I planned or imagined my retirement. Alam ko naman that retirement was certain, but this was not how I expected to be treated. And in that episode, there were news and press releases that damaged my reputation as a professional. That was my Good Friday. So ang tanong ko pa rin, so ano na? There must be a reason why it happened. I may not understand it today, but I know that God has a higher purpose, and I'm hanging on to the promise of Easter. The promise of Easter is joy. Easter comes with celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ, signifying the victory over death and the hope of eternal life. It is time to reflect on the sacrifice made for humanity and to rejoice in the promise of forgiveness and new beginnings. So ang operative phrase para sa akin ay new beginnings. Easter represents my fresh start, a chance to leave behind the past and embrace a new beginning, a future filled with hope. Yung pong empty tomb, it is a sign of the resurrection of Jesus. It was the first sign of the resurrection of Jesus. It is the core of what later on would become the gospel. So yung empty tomb, for me, it reminded me about my experience of emptiness, of nothingness. I know that the empty tomb is a symbol of an even more beautiful story that God is writing for me. So sabi ko sa sarili ko, there is hope beyond the empty tomb. Ewan ko po kung nabasa nyo o napanood niyo sa YouTube, noong May 20, 2024, in his first in-depth interview with a U.S. broadcast network, si Pope Francis addressed a wide range of topics, among which was to answer the question posed by Nora O'Donnell. She asked, "When you look at the world, what gives you hope?" As translated in English, Pope Francis said, and I quote, "Everything. You see tragedies, but you also see so many beautiful things. You see heroic mothers, heroic men, men who have hopes and dreams, women who look to the future. That gives me a lot of hope. People want to live. People forge ahead, and people are fundamentally good. We are all fundamentally good. Sometimes we are a little mischievous, sinners, but the heart is good." Unquote. In Christianity, Jesus Christ defeated death through his death and subsequent resurrection. which is the central tenet of our faith. And this act is seen as a victory over power of sin and death, offering the promise of eternal life to believers. By believing in the death of Jesus and his resurrection, we believe the promise of eternal life and that we are freed from the fear of death. The resurrection of Jesus also gives us hope for the future. And I would like to imagine the empty tomb. The angels are probably saying, "He is risen, come, look and see." In Jesus, the way back to life and communion with God has been reopened. The tomb becomes now the source of life. In Easter, therefore, I am not only forgiven, I am sent, and there will be restoration from my current situation. Through the obedience and sacrifice of Jesus, restoration comes, and I am invited not only to witness the resurrection, but to live it and proclaim it in my life. As we conclude the octave of Easter with the observance of Divine Mercy, we celebrated kanina, and we will celebrate it again tomorrow. I pray for God's mercy and grace for all of us. So I will no longer ask, "So ano na?" Instead, I will simply say, "Lord, ano pa? Ano pa ang greater purpose and plan for me in the coming days?" And again, I would like to echo what Pope Francis said about hope. He said, "There is hope in everything. You see tragedies, but you also see so many beautiful things. That gives me a lot of hope. People want to live. People forge ahead." I was reading a book recently. The book is entitled Rediscover Catholicism, and it was written by Matthew Kelly. He wrote, "God never goes back. He always moves forward. Adam and Eve were banished from the garden. God could have redeemed them and sent them back to the garden, but he did not for two reasons. First, God always wants our future to be bigger than our past. And second, God always moves forward." So for me, and I guess for all of us, let us press on toward the future that God has envisioned for us, and let us become the people of possibility again. So pakisabi po sa inyong katabi, tuloy ang buhay. Easter na, move on ka na. So at this point, I would like to call our favorite, Reverend Father Jason Jubilia Laguerta for his recollection talk. Maraming salamat po.
Ang sagot ko doon sa tanong mo, Luigi, ay ang tanong mo ay, "So, ano na?" Ang sagot ko kanina sa gilid, sumisigaw ko di mo ko narinig. Ang sagot ko ay, "Okay na to." May isang mahilig magluto, no, na pagkatapos ng lutuin ng ulam, ang lagi niyang sasabihin ay, "Okay na to." At tingin ko ay okay na to. At okay ang inyong pagbabahagi. No, I wanted to dwell on what Luigi said. Maybe it would be good to spend a minute or two namnamin natin yung karanasan, no, ni Luigi about experiencing the tomb, being buried inside. and how there is a promise of moving forward or coming out of the tomb, because that is what we will try to develop tonight. Let's go back to our own experiences of being inside the tomb and how we rose from it. Because at some point or another in our life, palagay ko lahat tayo, dumaan tayo sa ganon, no? Na tayo ay naipasok sa isang madilim o isang malamig na sitwasyon ng kabiguan at siguro karamdaman o karanasan ng pagkamatay, pagkawala ng mga mahahalaga sa atin. And we were left in the cold, so to speak. And then, look at us. We are here. Andito ka naman. So, okay naman. No? Okay ba? Okay ka ba? Okay na to, hindi pa? Ngayong gabi po, let us try to go back. Medyo magpabalik tayo ng konti. I will not focus on the tomb of Jesus because it's a reality that is asking us to move forward. Yung sinasabi ni Luigi kanina na God wants us to move forward. We look forward to it, no? We look forward to the tomb of Jesus and then how he rose from it, how the stone was rolled away, and how the angels removed the stone, and nobody really witnessed the resurrection of Jesus. Wala naman pong nakakita nung kanyang aktual na pagbangon. Ano po yung evidence of the resurrection? The empty tomb. At saka yung tela na nakatupi. Kasi ang sabi ng mga dalubhasa sa Biblia, kaya tinupi yung tela na nakabalot sa patay kasi para ipakita na hindi niya na kailangan yung tela na yon. At evidence din yun na hindi ninakaw. No? Kasi kung ninakaw yung katawan ni Jesus, yun yung chismis noon, ang fake news noon ay ninakaw yung katawan niya. O, ang evidence na hindi ninakaw, kasi naiwan yung tela. Meron bang nanakawin tapos iiwanan yung tela? Eh di ba, syempre, pag ninakaw yung bangkay, di, kasama na rin yung tela. Yeah. So, yun po yung mga circumstances, no, or details of the resurrection. Medyo babalik ako ng konti, no, if you would allow me. Balik tayo ng konti sa isang tomb, sa isang libingan, na hanggang ngayon pwede mong puntahan. Aside from the Holy Sepulchre, pag napunta kayo sa Holy Land, how I wish we can go back again, no? Pag maayos-ayos na ang sitwasyon. May isang tomb na pinupuntahan din ng mga pilgrim sa Holy Land, yun po yung tomb of Lazarus. Yung tomb of Jesus can be found in the Holy Sepulchre. Yung tomb of Lazarus can be found somewhere, mga ilang kilometro ang layo sa tomb ni Jesus. No? Have you been there? May nakapunta na ba doon? Yung mga taas ng kamay, nag-Holy Land na po dito. Ayan. Oh. Napuntahan nyo ba yung tomb of Lazarus? Hindi. Dapat bumalik kayo. No? So, babalik kayo. The tomb of Lazarus, ano siya, mga few meters down. Bababa ka at maamoy. No? Kasi nga, kuweba, tapos may stagnant water. Tapos, ang may-ari ng tomb ni Lazarus ay Muslim. So, para makapasok ka sa tomb ni Lazarus, at least present day, magpapaalam ka dun sa Muslim na ikaw ay dadalaw. Wala rin naman silang pakialam. Hihingan ka lang nila ng konting tip. No? Kaya lagi ka dapat ready ng $1 mo. So I'd like to go back to Lazarus. Kasi siya yung nakaranas ng tomb. May dalawa pang pagkakataon na may sinabihan si Jesus na rise or arise. You can find that in Luke 7 and Luke 8. Sa Luke chapter 7, doon yung sinabihan niya yung bata na dinadala na papuntang sementeryo. This is the son of the widow of Nain. If you remember, ang sabi ni Jesus doon sa bata, arise. No, rise. bumangon ka. Kasi patay na yung bata. Papunta na sa sementeryo pero binuhay ni Jesus. Pero hindi pa nasa libingan. Nasa prosesyon pa lang, papuntang libingan. At ang sabi ni Jesus sa bata, bumangon ka, arise. That's the first instance of Jesus commanding someone who is dead to rise, to wake up from sleep or from death. Pangalawa, in Luke chapter 8, the daughter of Jairus, if you recall, no, pinuntahan ni Jesus, sinama niya si Peter and si James and John, Peter, James, and John sa loob ng kwarto. At ang sabi niya sa bata, talita kumi, arise, na bumangon ka. At ang sabi ng mga tao, patayin na ba't mo binabangon pa? So, yan. So yung pangalawang pagkakataon. Pero, hindi pa nalilibing yung bata. Nandun pa sa kwarto ng bahay, kung saan siya ay may sakit. The only instance where Jesus commanded someone to rise from the tomb was Lazarus. So I prefer to go back to his story so that we can develop our theme, Rise, Hope. No? Hope beyond the tomb. Let's go back to the story of Lazarus. Chapter 11 of St. John. Let us read together if you have your Bible with you or if you have your software or application of the Bible. John chapter 11 verse 1 and following. Now, a certain man was ill, Lazarus of Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. So, sa Betania po, no, yung nandun din yung libingan ni Lazarus sa Bethany. Mary was the one who anointed the Lord with perfume and wiped his feet with her hair. Her brother Lazarus was ill. So the sister sent a message to Jesus, Lord, he whom you love is ill. But when Jesus heard it, he said, this illness does not lead to death. Rather, it is for God's glory, so that the Son of God may be glorified through it. Accordingly, though Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus, after having heard that Lazarus was ill, he stayed 2 days longer in the place where he was. Tigil po tayong konti doon. Alam mo na palang may sakit ba't yung pa pinuntahan? Alam mo nang pang malubha, bakit nagpa-baby ka pa? Hindi niya kaagad-agad pinuntahan. No? Siguro parang sinasabi ni Jesus sa kanila, sa mga pinadala ng magkakapatid na Martha at Mary, hindi naman mamamatay yan. This illness will not lead to death. Nagkamali ba si Jesus doon? Huwag kayong mag-alala, hindi naman mamamatay yan. So, dito na muna ako. May nagmaling akala din si Jesus, no? Marami sa atin nagmamaling akala din. Naranasan niyo na po ba yun? Malakas pa yan. Huwag na nating puntahan muna. Biglang namatay. Tapos kayo ngayon. Ilan po sa inyo nakaranas na po ng ganyan? Na, uy, may sakit si ganito, ganyan. Ganun ba? Anong sitwasyon? Okay pa naman. Sige, dalawin na lang natin next time. Kami mga pari, may sakit kaming ganyan. No? Sick call, Father, sick call. Ang unang tanong ng pari ay, mamamatay na ba? Pag hindi pa, sakit ng Father ay, busy ako, next time na lang. Maraming beses ko, dapat pagalitan nyo kami mga pari. Kapag nagpapasikol kayo at sasabihin namin na mamamatay na ba, kailangan sampalin nyo kami ng 2 beses. No? Father, trabaho mo to, no? Ministry mo to, sikol ito, kaya wala dapat. Kasi po, ang turo sa aming mga pari, basta sick call, walang pwedeng humindi. Drop everything if it is a sick call. Kahit na Santo Papa pa ang kausap mo, drop everything because it is the sick calling you. Malinaw po yon. Yan. Kung gusto nyong masolo yung pare, idahilan nyo mayroong may sakit. Tapos pagdating doon, sabihin ni Father, asan lang may sakit? Magpa-cute ka na lang. Sabi mo, Father, gumaling na ho. Pero, yan, sick call, pero hindi pinuntahan ni Jesus. Pero alam naman natin ang dahilan kung bakit din niya pinuntahan. Hindi naman sa dahil hindi niya alam na may sakit, kung hindi, may gusto siyang patunayan at may gusto siyang maramdaman at maipakita kay Marta at Maria at sa lahat ng mga tao. And in fact, the raising of Lazarus is the immediate reason or the most immediate reason why Jesus was condemned to death. He was arrested because of the raising of Lazarus. Then after this, he said to the disciples, "Let us go to Judea again." The disciples said to him, "Rabbi, the Jews were just now trying to stone you, and are you going there again?" Jesus answered, "Are there not 12 hours of daylight? Those who walk during the day do not stumble, because they see the light of this world. But those who walk at night stumble, because the light is not in them." After saying this, he told them, "Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I am going there to awaken him." Yun naman pala. May dahilan siya. Hinayaan niya munang mamatay, hindi dahil gusto niyang saktan si Marta at Maria, kasi may plano siya. At ano ang plano niya? Bubuhayin niya. Sometimes God allows pain, suffering, death. Not because He wants to punish us or hurt us, but because He has a plan. And we have to understand na minsan may plano ang Diyos na mahirap agad-agad tanggapin. But He had a plan to awaken him. The disciples said to him, "Lord, if he has fallen asleep, he will be all right." Jesus, however, had been speaking about his death, but they thought that he was referring merely to sleep. Then Jesus told them plainly, "Lazarus is dead. Lazarus is dead. For your sake, I am glad I was not there, so that you may believe, but let us go to him." Thomas, who was called the twin, said to his fellow disciples, "Let us go, that we may die with him." When Jesus arrived, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb 4 days. 4 days. Now Bethany was near Jerusalem, some 2 miles away, and many of the Jews had come to Martha and Mary to console them about their brother. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went and met him, while Mary stayed at home. Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." Lord, if you have been here, my brother would not have died. A little bit of reflection on our own experience. Maraming beses ganun din naman ang sinasabi natin sa Panginoon. Lord, kung nandito ka lang o kung nagmamalasakit ka lang, hindi naman siguro nangyari sa amin to. Bakit mo kami pinabayaan? Kung talagang nagmamahal ka at may habag ka sa amin, bakit mo naman hinayaan na mangyari ito? The same complaint or the same disappointment of Martha telling Jesus, "If you had been here, my brother would not have died." Question po, mga kapatid, ngayong gabi, ano yung mga sumbat natin? Ano yung mga sumbat natin kay Jesus? Kung mahal mo lang ako, di sana hindi mo ginawa ito o hindi mo hinayaan yan. Meron po ba tayong mga hinanakation kay Lord? Kagaya ni Martha. Marami tayong mga hinanakit sa Kanya. Ang dami mga sinusumbat. Kung ginawa mo lang ito, di hindi nangyari yun. Kung binigyan mo lang ng ganito, di hindi nakuha yan. Ayan. Pakitanong nga ang sarili natin, ano yung mga hinanakit mo kay Lord? Kagaya ni Martha. Ano yung mga sinusumbat natin sa Kanya hanggang ngayon? Ba't mo kasi ganito? Ba't kasi ganyan? At siguro si Luigi dumaan din sa punto ng pagtatanong ng ganon. Ba't ganon? No? Nag-invest ako ng gusto sa trabahong ito, pero bakit ganon? Unceremoniously, I was eased out of it. Ba't ganon? Yeah. At siguro nagtatanong din tayo sa sarili natin, yan, bakit nga ganon? If you had been here, yun ay mga hanggang ngayon sinasabi ng mga tao yun, kung nandito ka lang, no, kung nagawa mo lang ito, kung minahal mo lang ako, o kaya kung binigyan mo lang ako. Meron hong mga tao sa atin na living in guilt. And what is that guilt trip that always afflicts us? Yung guilt trip na, kasi hindi mo ginawa ito ayan tuloy. May mga taong pinapag-guilty tayong ganon, di ba? Ganon si Martha Harap-harapan, pinapag-guilt trip niya si Jesus. Kung nandito ka lang Ilan na ho sa atin ang nasabihan ng, kasi ikaw kung ginawa mo yan, di wala tayong ganito sana. Ikaw wala ka Kung, meron po ba sa inyo nakaranas na ng ganon na pinapag-guilty ka ng mga tao sa mga pagkukulang mo, sa mga hindi mo nagawa. Kung binigyan mo lang ako, pinautang mo lang ako, di hindi ako nagkaganito. Diba? Sino po sa inyong living in that guilt of because you missed something, because you were not able to deliver something, and people pounce it or lay it on you? Ikaw ngayon ang sacrificial victim. Ikaw ngayon ang sacrificial lamb. Ikaw ngayon yung binibitay nila. Ikaw ngayon ang ginagarote nila at pinapako nila sa krus kasi ikaw ang sinisisi ng lahat. Bakit kasi ganyan? Bakit mo ginawa yun? Bakit di mo ginawa yan? Tama po ba? May mga guilt trip po ba tayo minsan? Meron po ba tayong tendency na mag-guilt trip sa mga tao na kinokonsensya mo, sinusumbatan mo dahil sa mga kakulangan nila, o ikaw mismo ay laging nasusumbatan kung bakit may kakulangan ka at kaya nagkaganito ang lahat? Mga pagkakataong ganon ay nakakatulong ba yon? Natutulungan ba tayo ng guilt trip na yan? Or natutulungan ba tayo ng blaming and guilt feelings? Ewan ko sa inyo. Bahala kayo. Masakit po ganyan, no? Pag living in guilt, if you're living in guilt, or if you are always reminding people of their shortcomings, parang araw-araw na lang na ginawa ng Panginoon, lagi kang may Marta na nagsasabi sa iyo na, kung ginawa mo lang, hindi tayo nagkaganito. Kung hindi ka lang nagwaldas, may pera tayo ngayon. Kung hindi mo tinaya yan sa loto, di ba? Kung hindi mo pinangsabong yan, di maayos ang pamilya natin ngayon. Kung hindi mo inespoil yung anak mo na yan, hindi sana nagkaganyan yan. Di ba? May mga mag-asawa na ang labanan nila ay sumbatan, no? Bilangan ng kanilang bilangan ng mga pagkakamali. Kung hindi mo kasi in-enroll yan dyan, hindi nagkaganyan yan. Alam ko ba na magkakaganyan? Ba't mo ko sinusumbat sa akin yan? Kasi kung hindi mo nilagyan ng betchin yan, hindi talaga na ganyan naglasa. Kahit yung simpleng pagluluto, di ba? May sumbatang nangyayari. Kasi, ayan, ang dami-dami kang asukal. Nilagay mo asukal. Ayan tuloy. Sino ho rito yung mahilig magganyan? Kasi, dapat kasi pag naglalaba, hinihiwalay mo yung decolor tsaka yung puti. Yan. Pati ba naman yan? Kailangan tayong magsumbatan. No? Ayan tuloy, nasira tuloy yung paborito kong ano. Ayan. Ayan. Familiar po ito? Familiar po ba ito sa atin? Mga sumbatan games. Sinumbatan ni Martha si Jesus. Martha said to Jesus, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I know that God will give you whatever you ask of Him. Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. Ito na naman. Hindi naman nila naintindihan si Jesus. Noong una yung mga alagad na sina Tomas, hindi nila naintindihan ng ibig sabihin ni Jesus na bubuhayin ko siya, gigisingin ko siya. Hindi rin nila naintindihan yon. Ito, si Martha, di rin niya naintindihan nung sinasabi ni Jesus, your brother will rise again. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. Those who believe in me, even though they die, will live. And everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this? She said to him, yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, the one coming into the world. When she had said this, she went back and called her sister Mary and told her privately, the teacher is here, is calling for you. Aba, may issue din si Maria. Si Marta, nung nalaman niyang naandyan si Jesus, sinalubong agad. Nasaan si Maria? Nagkulong ng kwarto. Dinedma si Jesus. Ayaw niyang makita. Si Marta, at least, forthright siya, honest siya. Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Pero si Maria, anong style ni Maria? Ang tawag sa style ni Maria, passive-aggressive. Alam niyo po ba yung passive-aggressive? Kunyari, mabait, pero mapusok. Kunyari, walang ginagawa, pero nananamantala at nananakit. No? Passive, pero aggressive. Pakitingnan niyang katabi natin. Passive, aggressive. Ganon si Maria. No? Nung nalaman niya na nandyan si Jesus, disappointed siya kasi kaibigan nila dapat, kaya nagkulong. Ang sabi ni Martha sa kanya, huy, the teacher is here and he is calling for you. Ano ginagawa mo dyan? Kailangan pang puntahan ni Martha, nung unang dumalaw si Jesus sa bahay nila, sinong kaharap ni Jesus? Si Maria. Sino yung aligaga sa kitchen? Si Martha. Ito baliktad. Ngayon ang kaharap ni Jesus, si Martha, at sino yung nagtatampururot? Si Maria. Kailangan pang puntahan ni Martha at sabihin sa kanya, hoy, the teacher is here. And tinatawag ka niya. Siguro, if you can, yung wild imagination po ninyo, paganahin nyo, ano kaya ang conversation na yon? Pasok si Martha. Sis, andyan si best friend, si BFF ni, labas ka na. May ka na. Ngayon, tatampo. Si Maria, pakailam ko dyan. Alam naman niyang may sakit. Tapos hindi man pupunta-punta rito. Ngayon, kung kailang patay na, 4 na araw na, ngayon na pupunta. Pakialam ko dyan. Di ba ganun ang usapan siguro ng magkapatid, no? Sabi ni Martha, sis, hindi ka na. Bas ka na dyan. Andito andito na si Lord. Ayan. Sino sa inyo ang mga Maria na passive-aggressive? When she heard it, she got up and went to him. She got up quickly. Now, Jesus had not yet come to the village, but was still at the place where Martha had met him. So, ibig sabihin, sinalubong ni Martha malayo sa bahay. The Jews who were with her in the house, consoling her, saw Mary get up and go out. They followed her because they thought that she was going to the tomb to weep there. When Mary came where Jesus was and saw him, she knelt at his feet and said to him, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Kaninong dialogue yon? Kay Martha yun eh. Tapos ngayon, uulitin mo na naman. No? Parang nag-usap yung magkapatid sa kwarto. Itong sabihin mo kay Lord, sumbatan mo rin. So, kanino galing yung dialogue na yon? Kay Martha. Ang sabi ni Martha kay Maria, sige, sumbatan mo pa. No? Anuhan mo ko, sundan mo yung sinabi ko sa kanya para mag-guilty pa lalo siya. No? Kaibigan niya, tapos pinabayaan niya mamatayin. So, the dialogue of Mary, same as Martha, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who came with her also weeping, he was greatly troubled, and he was deeply moved. He was disturbed in spirit, and he said, "Where have you laid him?" Saan niyo nilagay? Saan niyo nilibing? They said to him, "Lord, come and see." And Jesus began to weep. Jesus began to weep. Lahat ito nangyari sa labas ng tomb. Lahat ito nangyari sa labas ng libingan. Ang iyakan nasa labas ng libingan. Doon umiiyak ang mga tao. Sa loob ng libingan, wala nang umiiyak doon, patay na eh. Sino ang umiiyak? Yung mga nasa labas ng libingan, including Jesus himself. And he began to weep. In my last recollection during the Lenten season, I developed a theme from Richard Rohr. I don't know if you are familiar with him. I'd like you to read his book, super ganda na libro, The Tears of Things by Richard Rohr. Ang sabi ni Richard Rohr, a Franciscan priest, everything deserves tears and everything demands tears. Lahat daw ng bagay deserves tears at lahat ng bagay nangangailangan ng iyak at luha. So it's okay na iiyak ang mga bagay-bagay sa buhay. It is okay to cry about our losses, our failures, our disappointments. Jesus also wept. And it's okay to cry because crying has two functions in our life. Crying is to eliminate all the obstacles, dirt in our eyes. No? Ang pag-iyak, nililinis ang mata. At ang pag-iyak, inaalis ang laman ng puso. Pinapagaan ang loob. Pinapalinaw ang mata. Kaya dapat mong iiyak. Marami tayong hindi pa naiiyak sa buhay natin. At kapag hindi mo pa yan naiiyak, mananatili pa yan na bukas at hindi pa gumagaling na sugat. Our wounds will never heal if they are not wiped by our tears. Hindi raw maghihilom ang mga sugat kung hindi luha ang ipampapahid mo dyan. Hindi ointment. Hindi mo ipapahid sa sugat ang anumang ointment o kaya anumang cream para gumaling yan. Kahit anong antibiotic ang ilagay mo dyan, mananatiling may sugat dyan. Ano raw ang pinakamabisa na pampagaling ng sugat? Ang luha. Kasi pag iniluha mo na siya, pag iniyak mo na siya, naghihilom ang sugat, naiibsan ang sama ng loob o kalungkutan. Ang mata natin ay nawawalan ng muta. Bakit nagkakamuta ang mata? Kasi ito yung luha na tumigas na. Para mawala ang muta sa mata, kailangan mo ulit umiyak. Kahit na ang sore eyes, kailangan mong umiyak ng umiyak para mawala ang sore eyes. And same thing with our lives. Kailangang iiyak mo na yan. Itanong mo nga sa sarili mo, ano yung mga bagay na hindi mo pa naiiyak? Kailangan iiyak mo na yan. Kasi habang hindi mo iniiyak yan, nandyan lagi yan. Open wound that will never heal. So Jesus wept. He wept. So the Jews said, "See how he loved him. See how he loved him." Grief is but love that longs to be expressed. Tears are but love that want to show its love. But some of them said, could not he have opened the eyes of the blind man who kept this man from dying? And ito na po yung topic natin. Yung mga sinabi ko po, introduction pa lang. So, okay na po kayo? Ready na po kayo? Magsimula na po tayo ng recollection natin ngayon. Kasi introduction pa lang po yung outside the tomb pa lang lahat yun eh. Outside the tomb. Ang topic natin ay beyond the tomb. No? So, pupunta na tayo sa tomb. Pupunta na tayo sa loob. Then Jesus again, greatly disturbed, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone was lying against it. Jesus said, take away the stone. Take away the stone. Ano pong ibig sabihin nito? Hindi mabubuksan ang libingan sa loob. Para mabuksan ng libingan, kailangan may magbubukas sa labas. Sa madaling salita, hindi mo pwede at kayang ibangon ang sarili mo. Kailangan may magbangon sa'yo. Somebody has to roll the stone away. And Jesus can do that for you. If you want to go beyond the tomb, if you want to rise from the tomb, Jesus has to roll the stone away. He has the only one, he has the only power to do that. We cannot roll our stones away. We cannot will ourselves to live or to life again. We need to be raised. And that's the point of the resuscitation of Lazarus, not actually a resurrection, but a resuscitation. It was Jesus who commanded him to rise and to take away the stone. Martha, the sister of the dead man, said to him, Lord, already there is a stench because he had been dead 4 days. Lord, mabantot na po, may amoy na po yan. 4 na araw na po yan. Wala naman yan, walang formalin po yan. May amoy na po. Huwag na ho nating buksan. Hindi takot si Jesus na buksan ang umaalingasaw nating kalooban. Hindi takot si Jesus na buksan ang maamoy na nating pagkatao. Hindi takot si Jesus na tatsagain tayo ulit para mawala lahat ng mga amoy sa ating katawan o sa ating buhay at sa ating pagkatao. In other words, hindi nandidiri ang Diyos sa atin. Hindi ka pandidirihan ng Panginoon. Kahit nalugmok ka sa putik ng kasalanan, hindi ka pandidirihan ng Panginoon. Kahit 30 taon ka ng patay dahil hindi ka nangungumpisal. Hindi ka susukuan ng Panginoon. Kahit ilang taon ka na nanlilimahid sa kasalanan, walang pandidirihan si Jesus. Si Marta, maarte. Kapatid mo na yan. Kapatid na niya yan. Ano ang warning niya kay Jesus? Maamoy na po, Lord. Siya pa ngayon ang ayaw buksan ni Jesus ang libingan kasi, siguro dahil nahihiya siya sa Panginoon, pero si Jesus ay hindi siya natatakot na puntahan kahit na nga ang karumal-dumal na kalagayan ng ating kaluluwa o ng ating pagkatao. And Jesus said to her, did I not tell you that if you believe, you would see the glory of God? So they took away the stone, and Jesus looked up and said, Father, I thank you for having heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I have said this for the sake of the crowd standing here, so that they may believe that you sent me. When he had said this, he cried out in a loud voice, Lazarus, come out. Lazarus, come out. The dead man came out, his hands and feet bound with strips of cloth and his face wrapped in a cloth. Jesus said to them, "Unbind him and let him go." Huwag po kayong mag-alala dahil yung tema natin ay napakaiksi lang naman ang paliwanag. If you want to rise from the tomb, you have to listen to the voice of Jesus telling you, "Come out." It is Jesus who has the power to give you a new life. The question really is, do you believe that Jesus has the power to give you a new life? Do you believe that the words of Jesus would be more than enough for you to be convinced that there is hope for you and for me? We cannot will ourselves to live again. We cannot will ourselves to hope again. We need to hear the Lord telling us, "Come out." In the same way that He told Lazarus, "Lazarus, come out." Bumangon ka, Lazaro. At yun din ang sinasabi ng Panginoon sa inyo ngayong gabi, sa ating lahat, bumangon ka na. Hindi ang asawa mo ang nakikiusap, hindi yung kaibigan mo ang nakikiusap, hindi yung anak mo ang nakikiusap. Sino ang nakikiusap sa iyo na bumangon ka na? Si Jesus. Believe in the power of His Word. Believe in the invitation of Jesus that He has the power to give you a new and resurrected life. Come out. Arise, and let the words of Jesus echo in our hearts. Bumangon ka na. Pwede pong pakisabi sa katabi natin, bumangon ka na please. No? Bumangon ka na. Si Jesus na nagsasabi sa iyo, kapatid. Si Jesus na nagsasabi sa iyo, bumangon ka na. And Jesus said to the people, and this is my last point, wag ko kayo mag-alala. Joke lang po yung kanina. At ang sabi ni Jesus doon sa mga tao, tanggalin nyo na yung tali, tanggalin nyo na yung mga balabal, tanggalin nyo na yung mga nakapulupot sa Kanya, unbind or untie them, unbind and let them go. So ngayong gabi mga kapatid, yun po ang pakiusap sa atin ng Panginoon. Untie yourself from all these things that bind you so that you can move forward or that you can live. Bumangon ka na, tanggalin mo na yung mga nakapulupot sa iyo because the Lord is asking you, there is life beyond the grave. It is the Lord who is asking us, bumangon ka na. Bumangon ka na. At maya-maya, siguro, pag umuwi po kayo, mga mag-asawa, do a ritual bago kayo matulog, puluputan nyo ng kumot ang asawa nyo. I-reenact po ninyo ito. Bago kayo matulog, i-reenact po ninyo ito. Puluputan nyo kung gusto ninyo, puluputan nyo ng tissue yan eh. Yung parang, o towel or whatever it is na pwede. And in a ritual, in a prayer, alisin mo na yung tali. And you tell your husband or your wife, you are free now. Pinapalaya ka na ng Panginoon. Arise, bumangon ka na. At pinapalaya ka ng Panginoon and He is letting you go of all these oppressions, of all these bondages that continue to afflict you every day. That's the resurrection. He is untying us from everything that oppresses us. He is liberating us from everything that afflicts us. And He's telling us tonight, arise, bumangon ka, buhay ka na ulit. Amen? Final kwento lang po bago ko magtapos. Nung Tuesday po, I think alam nyo naman ito, no? Chichismisan ko lang kayo, no? Nung Tuesday po ay ako po yung inimbitahan nila na maglibing kay Ate Guy, no? Yung NCCA po, si Sir Eric, parishioner po natin dito. And then, meron po silang kinuhang pare. Actually, hindi po ako ang first choice. May dalawang pari pa na kinuha sila. No? Itago na lang natin sa pangalang Father. Baka pagalitan ako ng dalawang pare. Wag na lang. Basta kilala nyo yung dalawang pare na yan. No? Kilala nyo yung dalawang pare na yan. Sabi ko, ay, number 3 lang pala ako. Pero nang umayaw yung number 1 at number 2, ako yung tinawagan. Alam nila kasi, Noranyan po ako. No? Yung nanay ko po, isa't kalahating diehard Noranyan po yun. Na kasi Bicolano po kami. So, yung nanay ko po. Ang number 1 niya talaga, si Susan Roses. Ang next niya, si Nora. Walang dapat umaway kay Nora. Nung mga bata ho kami, nanonood pa ho kami ng Superstar. No? Kasi, alam niyo ba yun? Nagpupunta rin ba kayo ng ganon? Alam niyo ba nung libing ni Julie Vega, nakipaglibing pa kami? Kilala niyo ba yun? Hindi rin, no? So, tinawagan po nila ako, and ako naman po ay, kasi sa loob-loob ko, I will be doing this not for myself, but for my mother. No? Sabi ko sa NCCA, of course, why not? I would love to be the one to preside in the burial rites. Not for myself. Not for myself. I wanted to do it for my mother, na diehard Noranyan. So, sa madaling salita, hindi ko alam ang pinapasok ko. Bakit po? Nagsimula po ang rite sa Metropolitan, alas 8:30. Alam po ninyo kung ano oras kami natapos? 1:30. Sa loob-loob ko, hindi nyo na ako maiimbita. Pagdating ng panahon na national artist na si kung sino man yan, hindi na ako pupunta dyan. Imagine mo, 5 oras, 6 na oras nandun ka? Pero tuwan-tuwa po ako. Deep inside, my Noranyan heart was grieving but was actually enjoying everything. Kasi I was doing it for my mother. So, ang sa loob-loob ko, kung buhay ang nanay ko, panigurado, nandito to. At alam po ba ninyo, nung nandun kami sa libingan ng mga bayani, hindi po ako nakatingin kay Nora o kay Jenin. Ang ganda-ganda ng batang iyon pala, no? Si Jenin Gutierrez, no? Hindi po ako nakatingin sa mga artista. Sulyap lang minsan, pero hindi ako nakatingin sa kanila. No? Nakatingin po ako sa mga fans. Alam po ninyo yung mga fans ni Nora Honor? Mga kamukha nyo lahat. No? Mga senior citizen. Mga senior citizen. May isa kong lola. Dahil naghihintay kami, nandun kami sa may tolda, may kinausap akong lola habang naghihintay kami ng ride. Sabi ko sa, Mami, saan pa ho kayo? Saan pa ho kayo galing? Sabi, Father, galing pa ho kami ng Laguna. Laguna? Oo, sabi sa amin, opo, makikipaglibing po kami. Oo, sabi ko, ano pong ano? Oo, kasi, anyway, kinuwento na nila yung talambuhay nila mula nung 1970s hanggang 80s. So, tapos sabi nung nanay sa akin, Father, ikuha mo naman ako ng bulaklak. Yung bulaklak, para lang ho sa family yun. Yung bulaklak na iaalay kay Nora Honor, para lang sa family po yun, no? Yung mga bulaklak. Sabi niya, Father, hanapan mo naman ko ng bulaklak. Binigyan pa ako ng problema nito, no? Pagod na nga ako dahil 5 oras na ako doon. So, ako naman po, sinimplihan ko yung nagdi-distribute ng bulaklak. Ang simple ko sa kanya, sabi ko, pwede ba meron din yung pari ng bulaklak? Sige po, Father. Ano rin po kayo, maglalagay din po kayo sa ano. Sabi ko, oo, pwede ba ako? So, binigyan ako ng isang bulaklak. Pero yung bulaklak na yon, hindi ko rin naman nahawakan ng matagal. Kasi sinimplihan ko rin, tinago ko sa likod ko, tapos sabi ko kay nanay, Nanay, nasa likod ko na yung bulaklak. Kunin mo na! Maya, may iba pang kumuha niyan. So, yung nanay naman, kinuha yung bulaklak sa likod ko, at mamatay siya sa tuwa. Ang sabi ko sa kanya, wag ko kayong susunod kay Nora, hindi ko kayo best. Pero alam niyo po yung itsura nung nanay na lola, na alam mong walang-wala. Alam mo ang tsura walang-wala in the sense na nag-commute ito, nag-travel ito ng malayo, may dala-dala siyang basket, pero tingin ko yung bulaklak na yon, dala-dala niya ngayon. Kasi hindi naman siya pwedeng maghulog ng bulaklak doon sa ano siya outsider siya O fan siya. Pero palagay ko dala-dala niya yung bulaklak na yon. At may namatay, pero may nabigyan ng buhay. At tingin ko sa bawat pagkamatay, laging may umuusbong na buhay. At ito yung sinasabi sa atin ngayon ng Panginoon. May namatay. Ganda ng sinabi ni Luigi kanina, may namatay. Pero ang pagkamatay niya, para mabigyan tayo ng buhay. Inako ni Jesus lahat para wag ka laging nakalugmok. Siya na ang namatay para ikaw din malaman mo kung gaano kahalaga ang buhay. Jesus defeated everything for us. And Jesus is telling us tonight, mabuhay ka. Mabuhay ka. Dahil buhay na ako at isinasama na kita. So mga kapatid, rise, bumangon ka. Ang Diyos ang nagsasabi sa iyo at nag-uutos sa atin, rise. There is life waiting for you. Let go. Let go of all these things that oppress you, that bind you, that imprison you. You have to let go of the tomb. Jesus is rolling the stone away, and Jesus is calling on you, calling on all of us. Come out. Come out. Pakisabi nga sa katabi, come out. Come out. Bumangon ka na. Amen.